ever wonder what happens when you mix hot lava and chicken?
It was supposed to be Disney's next billion-dollar fairy tale, a reimagining of a beloved classic. But behind the scenes, everything was falling apart. And when Jack Black allegedly confronted Rachel Zegler over her role in the chaos, the result wasn't just a clash of personalities. It was a full-blown meltdown that now symbolizes the collapse of Disney's live-action remake strategy. Let's start with this. Jack Black is not the kind of celebrity who gets caught up in drama. He's loved across generations for his humor, his heart, and his ability to keep it real in an industry known for fake smiles.
Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends.
So when rumors started spreading that he had pulled Rachel Zegler aside to confront her about Snow White, people took notice. Not because it was scandalous, but because if someone like Jack Black is calling you out, you've probably gone too far. According to insiders, the confrontation wasn't planned. It happened off-camera, behind closed doors, after tensions had already been rising for weeks. Jack Black reportedly approached Zegler to question how she was handling the backlash. Not just the criticism of the film, but the way she was publicly responding to it. And her responses hadn't gone unnoticed. Rachel Zegler had been brushing off fan concerns for months.
Rachel Zegler then inexplicably continued to post herself in an empty theater for her own movie. She's literally the only person there. Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft.
When people criticized the tone of the film, the political overtones, or the departure from the original story, Zegler labeled them as haters, trolls, misogynists. But Jack Black wasn't having it. He allegedly told her, bluntly, that dismissing valid criticism wasn't just unprofessional, it was damaging the entire project. Zegler, caught off guard, reportedly broke down. Witnesses say the conversation turned heated. Zegler was emotional, defensive, angry, and ultimately overwhelmed. She was already carrying the weight of a floundering Disney blockbuster. Now she was being confronted by one of the industry's most respected names, someone she likely admired, who was essentially telling her, "You're making it worse."
Goes something like this.
Chicken joe!
This confrontation became the tipping point. Everything had already been unraveling. The film had been through reshoots, edits, test screenings that bombed. The tone was inconsistent. Scenes were chopped up. And the messaging? Critics called it overbearing. But when Jack Black got involved, suddenly it wasn't just fans criticizing the movie. It was Hollywood turning on its own. And here's the thing, Jack Black wasn't even in the movie. That's what made it all so explosive. He had no skin in the game, no PR to protect, no corporate loyalty. He spoke as a voice of reason, and it hit like a bombshell.
Snow White reviews are in. Snow White, how shall we say? Data points are in, because we now know that it was a flop.
After the confrontation, Zegler disappeared from the spotlight for a few days. No posts, no interviews, just silence. Fans started speculating. Was she okay? Did the confrontation shake her that badly? Was there more going on behind the scenes than anyone realized? The internet dubbed it the meltdown. But to understand how it got to that point, you have to look at everything that came before. Rachel Zegler was supposed to be Disney's next big thing. She was cast as Snow White, a bold, diverse choice meant to redefine the fairy tale for a new generation. But the moment she started speaking about the film, things went downhill. She dismissed the original story as outdated. She called the prince creepy. She said her version of Snow White wouldn't need saving.
You know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
And fans? They weren't impressed. They felt like she was mocking the very story she was supposed to represent. Combine that with reports of a rewritten script, a modern feminist overhaul, and heavy-handed themes, and audiences started turning against the film before it even had a trailer. Then came the infamous theater selfie. Zegler posted a photo of herself sitting alone in an empty movie theater, watching her own movie. The message was unclear. Was it supposed to be funny, ironic, proud? Whatever the intent, it backfired. It looked like she was celebrating a flop. And for fans already feeling alienated, it came off as smug. That's when the Minecraft movie dropped. With zero controversy, zero lectures, and zero politics, it crushed Snow White at the box office.
It does seem like the media have got the throw her under the bus green light, though, when we're posting things like this. We're slagging her off behind the scenes, we're dropping all the information, and then reminding you of, her attacking the majority of the population of America when she posted F the Orange Man.
$300 million opening. Disney's Legacy remake? A humiliating $2 million Saturday. It wasn't even a competition. And now, Zegler was taking heat from all sides. Which brings us back to Jack Black. He saw what was happening. He knew the movie wasn't connecting. And he knew that the lead actress throwing gasoline on the fire wasn't going to save it. So he allegedly confronted her. Firmly, directly, and without sugarcoating. You're losing the fans. That, according to sources, was the heart of his message. Not malice, not judgment, just cold, hard truth. And for Zegler, already under attack, already feeling the pressure, it was too much.
This thing was a disaster. It only made $43 million at the box office, which is really bad for a movie like this. I don't have the numbers at the top of my head, but I want to tell you, Cinderella, which was a number of years ago, don't forget how much inflation has happened.
The fallout was instant. Blogs exploded with headlines about a Snow White star in crisis, rumors of emotional breakdowns, set insiders leaking details, and Jack Black's name trending alongside hers. Neither party publicly confirmed the confrontation, but neither denied it either, which, in Hollywood, says everything. For fans, the story took on a life of its own. Jack Black became the voice of the people, the one person in the industry willing to say what everyone else was thinking. Rachel Zegler became the symbol of everything they felt was wrong with the movie.
Like, it was a really, really, really bad flop. Now, things I do for you guys. I went to Snow White over the weekend. I took my kids. I'll tell you, I'm not sure who was more bored.
And Disney, silent, watching the chaos unfold. But this wasn't just about one argument. This was a culture clash, a generational divide, a moment where audience expectations collided with Hollywood's new priorities. And Jack Black, intentionally or not, became the face of that resistance. Some defended Zegler. They said she was a scapegoat, a young actress thrown into a toxic firestorm not of her making, that she was trying to be bold, empowering, and that the backlash was rooted in sexism and racism. But others argued that leadership matters, that if you take on a role as iconic as Snow White, you have to respect the legacy.
So did you go directly from West Side? Like, did you have to audition for Snow White, or like, oh, they saw you in West Side Story, they're like, you're Snow White?
West Side Story was kind of nowhere near coming out. We were about like 6 months away from release and no footage had been seen.
And the audience. What nobody could deny was that the damage was done. The meltdown, the confrontation, the box office collapse, it all blended together into one massive cultural moment. One that left a mark not just on Rachel Zegler's career, but on Disney's entire remake strategy. Will the truth of the confrontation ever come out? Maybe not. But in the court of public opinion, it's already legendary. The Jack Black versus Rachel Zegler clash is now part of the Snow White legacy. A tale of pride, pressure, and one brutally honest wake-up call. Whether it was a meltdown, a misunderstanding, or a media myth, it changed the way people viewed the film forever. And that's the irony. A movie about mirrors, vanity, and self-reflection, undone by a moment of raw, uncomfortable truth. So the next time Disney decides to remake a classic, maybe someone should ask Jack Black what he thinks first.